Imagine you're a young woman building a crypto empire from a tiny apartment only to have your family mock your fake money as worthless. But what happens when you quietly sell your company for $27.5 million? Watch to the end to see a journey of overcoming doubt turning ridicule into silent victory. The letter I received yesterday still burns in my pocket. The final acquisition offer from a European company, $27.5 million for my optimization protocol. 6 years of 18-hour days living on instant noodles, learning from every failure led to this moment. Hey kid, my mom. Margaret goes on, lowering her voice with quiet insistence, so only I hear. Connor says they're always hiring at the car dealership. Good benefits. I take another sip of beer, glancing at my brother-in-law Connor across the yard, showing off a new watch earned from selling luxury cars. He catches my eye, gives me that familiar, pitying look. Driving home that night, my phone pings, a text from my sister Hannah. Don't mind Mom. She's just worried about you. I toss the phone onto the passenger seat. No reply. What they don't know won't hurt them. Not yet. Back at my apartment, I check my laptop again. The wire transfer is pending. By Monday morning, I'll have more money than everyone at that barbecue combined. I close the laptop, look out the window. For the first time in years, I feel something close to peace with myself. I taught myself to code at 14, hunched over an old laptop my dad James bought at a flea market. I stayed up until 3 a.m. learning everything I could. My parents thought it was a phase, like when I was obsessed with astronomy or skateboarding. She'll grow out of it, they said when relatives asked what I did all day in my room. But I didn't grow out of it. I graduated high school, got a partial scholarship to state majoring in computer science. Everyone expected the usual path internships, entry-level coding job, slow corporate climb. But I dropped out junior year when I saw the potential of blockchain technology. My mom didn't speak to me for 3 months. My dad cried. Hannah tried to mediate but eventually stopped defending my choices at family gatherings. Why throw away your degree? My mom said when she finally talked to me again. Grandma Ruth worked oil fields for 40 years so her grandkids could go to college. I tried explaining once, talking about decentralized finance cutting out middlemen, the future of secure transactions. Their eyes glazed over in minutes. So I retreated to my apartment focused on building. While friends got married, bought houses, posted vacation photos, I lived on energy drinks and takeout, solving complex problems, creating efficiencies no one else had considered. The shift came 8 months ago. I published a white paper on a new blockchain protocol. 3 days later, my inbox was flooded with messages from venture capitalists. One Megan from Nexus Capital asked to meet. Your optimization algorithm is groundbreaking, she said over video. Do you have any idea what it's worth? I hadn't thought about it. I was just solving an interesting problem. 3 weeks later, I got the first acquisition offer, $3 million. I turned it down. 6 weeks later, $8 million. Turned that down too. Hannah called around. Then Mom's having health issues. She said not serious yet, but she might need surgery by year's end. I asked if they needed money. She hesitated before saying they'd manage. After hanging up, I stared at the latest offer, $15 million, feeling a strange emptiness. What's the point of solving problems if I can't solve the ones closest to me? 2 days before the family gathering, I sat in a virtual meeting with 5 executives. After 6 rounds of negotiations, they sent the final offer, $27.5 million, with a 2-year consulting contract, paying an additional $180,000 a year. We need an answer today. Ms. Bennett, the CEO, said, I asked for an hour, walked around my neighborhood, past families barbecuing, kids playing basketball. Normal, tangible lives. The kind my parents understood and approved of. Back at my apartment, I signed the contract, closed the laptop. It should have been a moment of triumph, but I felt a strange emptiness. 6 years of work had achieved more than I'd dreamed, and I had no one to share it with who truly understood what I'd done. At the family gathering, watching them laugh about fake money, I realized something. They weren't mocking me because they didn't care. They did it because they couldn't see what I saw. They lived in a world where success was Connor's commission watch or my cousin Zoe's management job. I thought about telling them, started to reach for my phone to show the pending transfer. But as my mom handed me another beer, resting her hand on my shoulder, with a mix of love and disappointment, I decided not to. This wasn't about proving them wrong anymore. It was something else, something I was only beginning to understand. On the drive home, I pulled over at a scenic overlook above the city. Tulsa's lights spread out like a circuit board below me. I made a decision. Right there, I do things differently. No big announcement, no revenge, no I told you. So instead, I opened my banking app, set up a private account. Then I made a list of names: my parents, Hannah, my niece Ava, my Aunt Ellen who lost her job last year. Even Connor, I knew exactly what I'd do, and no one would know it was me. A month after the acquisition, I met with a financial advisor in Oklahoma City, Sophie, who specialized in handling sudden wealth. Most people in your position want to make a splash, she said, reviewing my plan. Mansions, supercars, showing everyone they made it. That's not me, I replied, voice firm. No, she smiled. I can see that. We set up a few anonymous charitable trusts and a family support fund. I kept my apartment, my old Honda, my usual routine. The only difference was knowing my family would never face financial hardship again. They just didn't know I was behind it. 3 weeks later, Hannah called crying. Ava needs braces, Mom needs surgery, and they just cut Connor's commissions at the dealership. She said, "Sis, I don't know what to do, I can help a bit." I offered, already knowing I'd cover everything. Thanks, but she hesitated. Mom doesn't want charity, especially from you. She thinks you should focus on getting a real job instead of crypto. That stung more than I expected. What'd you tell her? I said I wouldn't ask you. She admitted I'm calling because I'm desperate. After hanging up, I sat with that conversation for a long time. My mom would rather struggle than take help from me because she thought I was a failure. The irony was almost too much. The next day, Hannah called back, confused and excited. You won't believe this. A group called Horizon Fund reached out about a community grant for families with medical needs. They're covering Mom's entire surgery. That's amazing, I said. Knowing the fund was set up yesterday with a single anonymous donor, me. And get this. Ava qualifies for a scholarship for braces through her school. They said someone sponsored kids in her grade. Sounds like your luck's turning, I said, voice soft. Hannah paused. It's weird, right? All happening at once. Sometimes good things just come, I said. 2 days later, my phone lit up with a text from Connor. Lila, you hear about the ranch? My grandma Ruth's ranch had been in tax trouble for years. My parents and aunt tried to save it, but always came up short. What I texted back. Someone paid off the tax debt, anonymous donation. Your dad's freaking out. I smiled, texted great news. At a small family gathering to celebrate saving the ranch, I watched my mom raise a glass to family legacy and miracles. Everyone buzzed about the mysterious donor. Maybe it's Zoe, my Aunt Ellen suggested. She's doing well in management. Zoe shook her head. Wish I could take credit, could be some tech billionaire doing random good, Connor said. My mom looked at me across the table. Definitely not. Lila's fake money, she laughed, but this time it stung less. I raised my glass with everyone saying nothing. Eyes calm. 3 months after the acquisition, I got a call from Megan at Nexus Capital. They integrated your protocol ahead of schedule. She said, results are exceeding expectations. Your contract bonus is tripling. Just like that, my net worth jumped from $27.5 million to nearly $40 million. I thanked her, hung up, sat staring at my apartment's unchanged walls. That evening, my dad called to invite me to dinner. It's been too long since you came by, he said. And your mom has something to say to you. When I arrived at my childhood home, the air felt oddly tense. My mom waited until after dinner to speak. I've been thinking, she said, twisting her napkin hesitant. You've been working on this crypto stuff for years. Maybe it's more than I thought. I set down my coffee, I surprised. What changed your mind? I read about it, she admitted, catching me off guard. After all these miracles happened to our family, I wondered if there were things I didn't understand. My dad nodded. Your mom thinks technology might be one of those things that we were too quick to dismiss. What you do. I felt my throat tighten. Really, I still don't get it, my mom said, but I want to, if you're willing to explain. Again, the next hour I explained blockchain basics. My mom asked surprisingly sharp questions. My dad took notes. It was the most interest they'd ever shown in my work. As I left, my mom walked me to my car. Lila, I've been hard on you, she said softly, voice earnest. I was scared you were throwing your life away, but these past few months made me think about what really matters. It's not jobs or money, it's family. I nodded, unable to speak. Whatever crypto turns out to be, I want you to know I'm proud you stuck to what you believed in. That takes courage. Driving home, I realized something unexpected. By helping my family without flaunting my success, I'd accidentally given my mom space to see who I was on her own. The next morning, Hannah called Lila. Something's weird, she said, voice low. Connor thinks someone's helping our family anonymously. Why's he think that? Too many coincidences. The medical fund, Ava's braces the ranch taxes. Now he got a job offer at a new dealership, higher pay out of nowhere. Someone's pulling strings. I kept my voice neutral. Maybe your luck's really turning. Connor thinks it might be you, she said bluntly. He says you've been too calm, like someone who doesn't have to worry anymore. That caught me off guard. Where would I get that kind of money? That's what I said, Hannah laughed. Unless your fake money finally paid off. I changed the subject, but after hanging up, I realized I'd underestimated Connor. He sold cars for a living, but he knew how to read people. For the first time, I wondered if staying anonymous was the right call. 5 months after signing the acquisition, I met with Sophie again to review my financial strategy. The anonymous approach is working well, she said, but there's an issue with sustainable giving. Your family's starting to notice a pattern. I nodded. My brother-in-law's suspicious. You have options. Sophie explained. Continue anonymously. With more space between gifts, set up a formal family trust with privacy clauses. Or tell the truth, I didn't answer right away. Each path had merit. What's stopping you from coming clean? She asked gently. I'm not sure, I admitted, voice reflective. At first I didn't want to gloat. Now I'm afraid it'll change everything. Money usually does, she agreed. After weighing it, I chose a middle path. I'd set up a family trust, but reveal my role gradually, starting with the person I trusted most to handle the information responsibly. The next day, I asked Hannah to meet at a downtown coffee shop. You're freaking me out, she said when she arrived. You never set up meetings like this. I slid a folder across the table. Look at this. She opened it, frowning at the legal documents. What am I looking at? A trust fund for Ava's education, fully funded. Hannah's eyes widened as she flipped pages. Millions of dollars. Lila, what did you do? Sell drugs? No. I laughed. Remember my blockchain project, the one everyone laughed at. Realization. Lit her face. You sold it. I nodded. 5 months ago, $27.5 million. Hannah froze, mid-sip of coffee. Say that again. I explained everything. The acquisition, the consulting contract, the anonymous gifts. When I finished, Hannah shook her head incredulous. So this whole time Mom's been telling you to get a real job. You were trying to help everyone without making it about me? I said, voice sincere. I can't believe it, she said, but she was smiling. Why tell me now? I need your help. I was setting up a larger family trust, but didn't want to announce it, like a grand gesture. I wanted people to understand what the money was for and where it came from. Before knowing how much, Hannah reached across the table, squeezed my hand. You've always been the quiet, complicated one. A few weeks later, Hannah helped me lay the groundwork. She casually mentioned an article about blockchain success to our parents. She got Connor to explain cryptocurrency at dinner, giving me a chance to add insights, making my mom look at me differently. We arranged a family financial planning session pretending it was about the ranch's future. I brought in an advisor, not Sophie, but someone who spoke generally about trusts and legacy planning. The pieces started falling into place. My family began to see crypto as legitimate and me as someone who actually knew what she was talking about. The final phase came when Hannah said Ava's middle school was hosting a career day. Would you come talk about being a coder? She asked, eyes meaningful. It was the perfect opportunity. Career day at Ava's school fell exactly 6 months after the acquisition signing. Hannah arranged for our parents to come support Ava. Connor showed up too curious about what I'd say. I stood in front of a room of 12-year-olds and parents, starting casually, voice confident. 6 years ago, I dropped out of college to work on something my family didn't understand. They thought I was wrong. I glanced at my parents. They were worried about me. The kids looked bored, but the adults were listening. I developed a blockchain protocol, a way to make cryptocurrency transactions faster and safer. Most days, I wasn't sure it would work. I ate a lot of instant noodles, missed family events to debug code. People joked about my fake money. A few kids giggled. I smiled. 6 months ago, I sold my company for $27.5 million. The room went dead silent. My mom's jaw dropped. My dad covered his mouth. Connor's eyes widened in shock. But that's not the important part, I continued, voice firm. The important part is that success doesn't always look like people expect. Sometimes the person driving an old Honda wearing the same hoodie for years is building something revolutionary. I wrapped up by announcing a tech grant for the school, funded by me, ensuring every student had access to computers and coding classes if they wanted. As I stepped off the stage, Ava ran up and hugged me. That was so cool, Aunt Lila. My parents approached slowly like they were in a dream. $27.5 million. My mom said softly, Lila, is it real? Actually, it's closer to 42 million now with bonuses, I replied, voice calm. My dad started crying. My mom nearly did. The ranch taxes, Ava's braces, my surgery, she said. That was all you. I nodded. I wanted to help, without making it a big deal. Connor stepped up, offered his hand. I knew something was up. Didn't guess this. He laughed, shook his head. I even offered you a job at the dealership. It was a good offer, I said, shaking his hand. Just not my path. 2 weeks after career day, I helped my parents move into a new house. Modest but comfortable near Hannah and Ava, with no stairs for my mom to navigate post-surgery. I bought it through the family trust, and this time they knew I still don't understand exactly what you invented, my mom said as we unpacked boxes in her new garage. But I'm trying to learn. That's all I ever wanted, I said, voice sincere. She paused, holding a box of old fishing gear. I'm sorry I didn't see what you were building. You couldn't have known, I said. No, she agreed. But I could have believed in you more. That evening, the whole family gathered for dinner in the backyard. Connor was excited about a coding class he'd signed up for. Never too late to learn new skills. He said Hannah had quit her stressful accounting job, opening her own practice with seed money from me. She was already helping other families navigate financial hardship. Ava showed my dad how to buy his first Bitcoin on a phone app. Watching them, I realized something had shifted fundamentally. Money changed circumstances, sure. But what really transformed was deeper, a new respect. Not just for what I'd achieved, but for the different paths success can take. I slipped away from the table for a moment, Stepped to the edge of the yard, eyes reflective. The sun set over Tulsa, painting the sky orange and purple. My phone buzzed with an email from Megan. Another company wanted to discuss consulting services at triple my current rate. I pocketed the phone, didn't reply. It could wait until tomorrow. Everything okay? My mom had followed me out, just savoring the moment. I said, voice soft. She nodded her eyes, carrying a new understanding. Grandma Ruth would be proud, you know. She said, not for the money, but for the grit. I learned that from you, I said honestly. She rested her hand on my shoulder, a gesture once awkward, now natural. Come back to the table, she said. Your dad wants to know if he should buy Ethereum next. I laughed, following her back to the family I'd always had, but who finally saw me. As I sat back at the table, the patio lights glowing on my family's faces, Mom smiling with pride, Ava dreaming of her future, Hannah sharing her new plans. I thought about the years I was mocked for fake money. They didn't see me build a $27.5 million empire from a tiny apartment, but from that doubt I changed their lives. Not with boasts, but with quiet gifts. My success isn't the number, it's the reconciliation, the new trust, and a family brought closer through understanding. If this story resonates with you, share it. Comment about a time you overcame doubt. I read every comment, and if you want more stories of persistence and triumph, hit subscribe. Together we'll keep building.